Hello, fabulous Leo. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of April 2015 General Focus. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. It's a really important month, a month of change, a month of truth, a month that really can be a game changer for a lot of people out there. This is a month where, in at least one area of life, all of us will be having a realization, a moment of truth, a breakthrough that ultimately leads to greater possibility and more inspiration than we knew before. For you, this area of life has to do with neighbors. It has to do with siblings and cousins, so as the case may apply. It also has to do with sort of the practical, most immediate knowledge that you have, the skills that you have as well. So let me break it down one at a time. One of the most immediate things I thought of when I looked at the sky was that really you might have some drama with a neighbor. Now, ultimately, it'll lead somewhere good. You want to practice being patient with everybody. It doesn't look so much like it's about you because you do have Jupiter in your sign speaking positively to this particular eclipse. But here's the thing. It might be that you're seeing a neighbor or you hear a neighbor going through some stuff of their own. Ultimately, it'll end up somewhere good, okay? So don't worry about that. But it may be that they need to leave very suddenly. It may be that they kick their spouse out. And it might happen at night, and it might happen in a really noisy kind of way. So this is the type of situation you might experience in your area. But it does look like some change is happening. It is a lunar eclipse, so that means endings. And so it could be that somebody is moving. Whether or not they move with all this drama around them, there does look like this element of doors closing and endings taking place there. So it could be a neighbor just actually moving as well, a neighbor that you know, sort of changing your experience within your neighborhood. This can also be, when I looked at this, I thought of, you know, how sometimes like sort of improvements take place within neighborhoods, within buildings as well. And the outcome can be really beautiful, but it does involve maybe a short period of time of some construction that isn't always so convenient. So that type of situation might manifest here as well. So just be mindful of that, be open to that, and that this is all a possibility for you. What I also really love about this month for you is that you are coming to understand your own place within your community as well. So it might actually be you who comes to understand just on a deeper level, like why you are in this particular neighborhood or this particular area. What is it in terms of, and again, this is sort of raising it a little bit, talking more about your personal processes, but ultimately we are where we are as part of the tapestry, as part of the mystery, because that's where our learning is, especially on a karmic level. I'm very much of the belief that there are certain circumstances in your life that are very karmic. And I do think that where you live in relation to the people who are around you also tends to be very karmic as well. So there should be a deeper appreciation on your part and understanding that you are exactly where you are for a reason, for a purpose, and that you are learning some really valuable things. Those of you who experience this under the sort of realm of siblings and cousins, I do think as I look at this that one of your siblings or cousins might announce a really dramatic change that takes you a little bit by surprise, but you recognize is good for them. This could be a change in terms of their spouse, okay? So if they have been with somebody, not a good relationship, this is, okay, finally that's over. And you can see that it's good for them and you're supporting them emotionally through some of the process. This could also be a sibling or a cousin announcing being eloping, okay? So that may be news that takes you by surprise. And it could also be a move on their part as well to a nearby city. So in some way, their role as part of your everyday sort of experience is changing. And there's an element there where you feel like, oh, wow, what is this going to mean for me? How is this going to change my circumstance? But very quickly, as I said, gives way to a really affirming situation all around. Some of you are also going to experience this in terms of understanding what you need to know. So if there's a skill building class or some process of needing to learn something immediately. Now, this isn't, or more immediate. So this isn't about philosophy and, you know, thinking about sort of learning in the higher sense in terms of engaging in a process of higher learning or a graduate degree. This is more about you recognizing recognizing that you need to understand the latest version of a software a little bit better. You need to take a weekend course to build a certain skill. These types of opportunities may come up and ultimately will introduce you to people where you feel that, oh wow, I really am where I'm supposed to be. This is sort of, you're learning something really deep. And as I looked at this, I thought about how it could very well be in one of these environments, or a talk that you go to, a speaker you've been meaning to see, all of a sudden you find out they're giving a talk in your area in 2 days. It could be an experience or an environment like this that leads to you actually meeting people with whom you have very strong sort of karmic ties, where you realize just they may be new, but there's sort of a soul recognition like, oh wow, okay, I feel a connection here. Now that could be romantic, but possibly, likely, I gotta say, not likely to be romantic, but more like you understand that you're learning something here. There's some learning happening, whether in a practical way or also just on a soul level. You can feel that you are where you are, exactly where you're supposed to be, that all these different people in this class are in some way helping you, moving you along, serving you well in your journey, in your process. Later on in the month, we have a new moon taking place. Now, this is about the philosophies. This is about the graduate degree. This is a new moon, so it's more about what's beginning. It's about the seeds that you're planting. And this is the call to adventure. This is you understanding what is it that you want to do. Now, I really like this for you. Jupiter is in your sign right now, as I've spoken about again and again. This is big. This is important. Jupiter in your sign really helps you tap into possibilities and potentials that you will grow and nurture for a very long time to come. Jupiter in your sign always leads to important change, always. Change that ultimately creates greater abundance and possibility for your life. We have this new moon taking place in a part of the sky that is sort of the home of Jupiter, if you will. So when we have a new moon taking place in this affinity, speaking right to the heart of you, it does suggest that you are really planting an important seed that's helping you tap into the promise that Jupiter holds being in your sign. So Jupiter in your sign carries with it a promise, and what that promise is now is being nurtured and strengthened thanks to this new moon. The seeds you plant now will reap fruit about 6 months down the road. And so really important, if there's some place that's calling you to go, you start putting things into motion so that you can be there. If you want to move to another country, this is the time when you start doing what needs to be done so that that can manifest. If you want to pursue some sort of exploration, whether formally in terms of a graduate degree, higher learning, or you want to learn about a new philosophy, a new spirituality, this is where you start putting the things into place. You start tapping into the resources that you need so that you can fully delve into that experience or begin that experience as well. So a really great time to sort of go on a bit of a soul journey, if you will, to understand what you believe, to integrate what's happening on a level of mind and what you're really passionate about. So that place of belief that comes from a place of what resonates as right and true for you. Places and ideas as well. This is also a really great area having to do with mentors. So this can also be a time when mentors show up for you to sort of show you and demonstrate for you ultimately what it is that you hope to do in the direction in which you believe that you are going. What I love about this month for you is that there is this element there of knowledge on offer. Whether it's that more immediate knowledge or whether it's knowledge in a higher sense, you are coming to have a more honest appreciation of what you know. And from there, you're able to really spring forward into the realm of exploring and taking on more of what you didn't know before. And that in turn changes the way that you view the world, not only from an immediate practical level, but also from a more lifted place as well, from a place where you understand your place in the world much more expansively than you did before.